Yo guys, what's going on? It's your guy Zach, hope you're all good. We're here for FTRL ACC, round number 7 here at Silverstone. Just going to show you the quick qualifying lap, my fastest lap in qualifying. So starting up the lap through Woodcote, starting, on the old start finish straight in GT3 cars. The first corner's Cops, braking just at the 50 board, getting the car nice and turning, really trail braking in, using the curb on the exit there, flat out coming into Maggots and Beckett's. A little bit up on the time as you can see. Flat through Maggots, a little bit of a lift through and a tab on the brakes through Beckett, and also here. Now I believe this is Chapel. You have to get on the brakes, use all the curb there to get a really good run here onto the Hangar Straight. Is it the Hangar Straight or is it the Wellington Straight? I've forgotten. So so just a long flat out, and then coming into Stowe. Pretty heavy braking just before the curb there, down into third gear, get really tight in the curb. You can get on the power really early as the track really opens up, and you can use quite a lot of the track. Braking just at the start of the cone for the Vale chicane, really aiming yourself at the apex there, down into second gear, trying to keep the power on as nice as possible, and trying to use the track flat out here onto the F1 start finish straight, coming into Abbey and Farm. So Abbey, really use the curb, dab on the brakes, keep it in fifth gear, get the car pointed in with the brakes, run out to the curb, flat out for Farm, and braking just at the start of the curb, really moving back over to open up the track, down into second gear, using the curb on the inside, hitting the apex. Now this is a really tricky corner. You have to sort of get a late-ish apex, but also not run down too wide because you're in the middle of the track. But now coming on to this is the Hangar Straight, I think. I don't even know. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. Make sure you also like and subscribe. Now, but coming into Brooklands, as you can see, we're quite up on our time. I believe that's about 3/10 in improvements into Brooklands. Really tight line, smacking the apex second gear, keeping it tight for Luffield as well. Keeping it tight for Luffield as well. Get on the power nice and early, so you've got a really good run. Use the curb on the exit, I believe, as we come through Woodcote to across the line. It's going to be, I believe, a 57.4 there, and that puts us in provisional pole. However, towards the end of the session, Cornelius will pip us to pole position, unfortunately. So about to cut to the start of the race. So you join us back on the formation lap, towards the end of the formation lap, as we come through Luffield and obviously eventually Woodcote to start the hour-long race for FTRL ACC. Just trying to match Cornelius' pace. We both are in the party to sort of work through the start procedure. We are both good mates. We just wanted to get through the start and not take each other out. Harrison and Tritt starting at the back too. Rose on the grid, just we're trying to catch up, so they were like really back up the pack. But rolling to the time line at 50 miles an hour, trying to get a good start. Really did want to lead into turn 1, and the lights go out. They didn't go out straight away as we crossed the timeline, but we are alongside into Cops, around the outside of Cornelius. He did really give us way too much room than he should have there, but we just didn't want to take each other out. We just wanted to get into the lead and go from the start. But yeah, so for the first couple of laps we were just controlling the pace. I was trying to talk him through it because he wasn't really used to being in this position before, trying to keep him calm, try and keep him collected. He usually loses concentration quite often, so I was just trying to get him through it. And a bit of a big-headed moment there, saying saying I'm used to being up here, but a massive mistake on the first lap. Just cold tyres really did catch me out here at Stowe. I went really wide, but luckily Cornelius didn't overtake me, and we managed to carry on. And I didn't get a track limits warning as well, importantly. But we managed to negotiate the first couple of laps pretty well, so I'll just cut on to the next bit of the race. But yeah, so good start into the lead. Me and Cornelius 1-2 at the moment. It's really good. Tyre temperatures are looking good as well for the moment. You've got this. Don't worry. Just breathe. Chill. Relax. Let the tyres scrub in. So towards the end, towards the start of the second lap, we managed to open up the gap to Cornelius just a little bit. He's following in our toe, trying to control the pace, and we've opened up a bit more of a gap to the cars beyond us in 3rd, 4th and 5th there of Blue Mosquito and Blue Flag. So just really trying to keep a consistent pace and not let the tyres overheat too much. But as you can see, that front left already is a really bright green in comparison to the rest of the tyres, and the rear brakes were also pretty cold, so it was a really tricky race as the temperature really did increase during the race. And but yeah, just trying to keep it relaxed, trying to keep it chilled. Sorry for Harrison's language, he does get like that quite often. But yeah, we can't help him. He's a bit special. But yeah, no, me and Willis working well so far in this race. Very good communication between us both, trying to just control the pace, not battling too much, don't want to take each other out and back each other up. But during this point we are talking about doing a swap, because at this stage in the race he is a lot quicker than I am. Well, not right now, but in a couple of laps time, as you'll see in a moment, he is a lot quicker as my tyres start to go off pretty early and pretty significantly as well. But yeah, just at this moment open up the gap to Blue Mosquito, and we'll cut on in to a couple of laps time, where there'll be a next update. So as you can see on the start of lap 4, and going through Maggots and Beckett's, I heard a weird noise. I don't know if you can hear it. It was actually Jack's dogs barking. But on the mic it didn't sound like his dog barking, and I thought it was a weird noise coming from the car, as if my tyre was scraping or something.
I'm trying to concentrate.
Oh, it was your dog. I thought it was my car. And as you can hear, I was quite surprised to hear it was actually his dog. And I thought something was wrong with my car, but luckily it was a big relief to hear nothing was wrong with the car. I thought it was the front left scraping as I was going through Maggots and Beckett's, of course. But yeah, as you can see, Jack has actually really caught up to us now, and this is where we are seriously thinking about swapping positions, as Blue Mosquito was also catching up very, very slowly, chipping away at our gap at this stage in the race. But Harrison making another joke. He really is a comedian. Yeah. But yeah, we'll cut on to a couple of laps time at the next update.
Can hardly take that flat.
Stop tapping my cars, you dumb cunts. You're gonna give me more damage than what we've got. I'm gonna let you go.
So here's quite a crucial point in the race. So as you can see, that front left is actually really heating up. It's on 28.1 psi. So I'm now thinking I need to change and lower the tyre pressures at the next pit stop. But in doing this, I've actually cost myself quite a lot of time pretty stupidly. So I had to change my tyre wear, and I wasn't really concentrating on my braking points, and Cornelius and Blue Mosquito do actually quite catch up, and you can see him on the radar there. And it's at this point I'm now thinking my tyre wear is pretty bad, especially my fronts. I've literally felt no grip for the entire race. As you can even say, Cornelius picked up on it. But yeah, I had to change my tyre wear. Probably could have done it a little bit better, more efficiently on the straight. But yeah, so this is the stage in the race, especially with my Dodger throttle. As you can see, the throttle really not actually wanting to go onto full throttle. I thought this is really, if Cornelius does get a run on me, I just need to let him go, let him control the pace from then on.
His lap times ain't that consistent, because he was 2 seconds away and now he's 1.6, and he's just constantly moving.
I usually do better in the second stint. So.
Oh, that's wide, isn't it?
That Mercedes is quick in a straight line.
So a couple of laps later now, and Cornelius and Blue Mosquito, you can see he's really closed that gap down into under a second. So we get a pretty poor run through Abbey. Yeah, we just think swap. I lift him through, point him through, let him go and control the pace. I do lose a bit of time to Blue Mosquito, which means I do have to defend for the next couple of corners, but I just thought this is going to be good for Cornelius to just get out in front before the pit stop. We've only got a few more laps till the pit window.
Oh my God, Trent,
So we just, yeah, we want to just get him in front and not cost him much because of my tyre issues. But yeah, under pressure from Blue Mosquito now. We'll stay on board. Yeah, he is really pressurising us now at this stage in the race. Tret also having connection issues at this stage in the race. He is rubber banding 2 other cars.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've got a massive gaggle of cars behind us. We've got from Blue Mosquito, Blue Flag, Iggy and Frame, I believe, behind us. So yeah, as Cornelius just says there, we've got a massive train behind us. So one position could lead to all of them positions being lost. So yeah, just trying to stick with Cornelius in his toe. As that McLaren was pretty quick in the straight line on race day, and especially on Silverstone. Cornelius is probably his best track, I'd say, on FTRL ACC. Yeah, just negotiating Maggots and Beckett's. Managed to put a little bit of more of a buffer gap to Blue Mosquito, but not majorly. And he is in the toe, and that Mercedes AMG is very quick and straight. And as you can see, I don't think we're even full throttle yet. I really need to get that sorted.
Tyres.
But yeah, thinking we need to pit soon because the tyres are really going off.
This lap.
But yeah, so thinking about defending from Blue Mosquito, just trying to keep that track position before the round of pit stops. And I believe we go a bit deep into the Vale chicane, don't negotiate at the best, having to cut the curb a little bit there, and you can see Blue Mosquito really gets a good exit on us in the slipstream and with that AMG. So we go to the inside with him to defend from the move, and then he goes to the outside, so we go with him again, close him off, he's not alongside, and as we turn in he's hit the back of us, and we've gone spun round by Blue Mosquito. Luckily I'm managing to save it, but yeah, not really the
Zach, did you just put on it?
the best outcome from there. I was really pissed off with Blue Mosquito at the time. Obviously he apologised in the chat afterwards, so it's all good, no bad blood. But yeah, he waited up, luckily we managed to save it.
Get some touch tyres on.
But yeah, that really did not do our tyres any good, so I just thought, gonna ignore any damage we have, don't want to cost ourselves any more time. Yeah, I was really confident we could catch back up, but
Well,
the
if
tyres
he
just
moaned about Trent when he went down the
just
inside,
really
it was a
bad.
fair move, and he just done that
All
to
of the
you. Why didn't you just report him and get him a fully ban?
all of the tyre temperatures as well, not doing the best, so we're just going to come into the pits this lap
I just don't know when I need to stop.
and get these tyres sorted out. I believe Blue Mosquito will as well. So it is a really tough, quite deceiving pit lane here at Silverstone. So you really think you can carry in a lot more speed than you can, but the pit limit line really comes up quick, so you have to smack the brakes on and put the pit limit on. But yeah, so not the most ideal end to the first stint, but I'm pretty sure we can bounce back hopefully in the second stint. 35 minutes still left to go, but yeah, really not ideal. I wasn't really the happiest, really didn't set the mood right for the rest of the race, but Cornelius does pit as well. I believe he's got a bit of damage he sustained from entering the pits. So as you can see, exiting the pit lane now, we have managed to jump Cornelius because of his damage, but Frome has got a really good undercut. I believe he pitted a lap before us, and on the fresh tyres, he's managed to get the undercut. He's only a second in front, but that Lamborghini is pretty quick. He's already got his tyres scrubbed in, and as you can see, the throttle again just playing up. Really not ideal. We've got Cornelius behind us, again, obviously really quick, and we're just waiting for the front to scrub in. Hopefully not overheat too much, but yeah, Silverstone was really challenging on the tyres, and Frome has already gapped us by quite a bit. Hopefully we can jump the rest of them in the pit lane though, and we won't lose out too much. Perhaps a net P3, P4 in the race, but Cornelius really fast behind us. We didn't really want to hold him up too much again, especially as he was pretty quick, and I really did want him to get his first podium, perhaps even his first win in FTRL after getting a stellar pole position by 4/10. So cutting on quite a few laps as we are lapping Cablo there. Just after that, everything settled down, all the pit stops have filtered out, so we're in P4 at the moment, which I believe is going to be a net P3 because Trit is leading. He stayed up quite a while, but as you can see, we're only a few laps into the stint and the fronts are already screaming for help. But just trying to keep a consistent pace to Frome, which so far we've managed to do. We've managed to keep Cornelius at a decent gap behind us as well. So I'm not doing too bad, running a little bit wide at that Cobbs. A few mistakes like that did cost me quite bad, but overall I believe the consistency in the car wasn't too bad. But yeah, just trying to maintain the gap to Frome. I really was trying to chip away at his lead over us, and same with Iggy. He was only 3 seconds ahead at this point in the race. I didn't really want to give Iggy a free win after getting taken out and after the tyre issues. I really do want to try and prove myself that I am worthy to win the championship twice in a row. So far I am leading the championship by about 10 points I believe. But yeah, just really wanted to try and shut these guys up, you know, try not to make them look good without sounding big-headed. But yeah, so as you can see, we are into P3 in this race. I was kind of happy with it considering the circumstances, but again, I knew the potential was there. In hindsight, would I have really held on to it with the tyre temperatures? Probably not. But yeah, really wasn't ideal. But cutting on for probably a couple of laps now, just trying to chip away. But yeah. So far in this race, nothing really eventful has happened. But yeah, so Cornelius behind is very quick. I did really want him to go and catch Frome, obviously, which, you know, I did really want him to just go in front and chase Frome. So I sort of just short shift down the back straight, let him through, lift off a little bit. I don't want to fight it too much. I just want him to go, try and sort of bring me with him in the tow to catch Frome, which really was my plan. the race strategy was just to follow Cornelius and catch Frome. So we'll see if it pays dividends. So far, nothing really exciting happening in the race. We've still got 25 minutes to go though, so anything can happen. Could be another crash. Could, you know, anything can happen. Our tyres could sort themselves out. Very much doubt that. But yeah, healthy gap behind as well. A few seconds to Blue Flag and Artemis. So yeah, just going to try and follow Cornelius, try catch Frome as he chips away at his lead. So just trying to keep track of the progress lap after lap. So as you can see, we're pretty in touch with Cornelius at this stage in the race. He is catching Frome quite substantially, and just cutting through the laps, you can see slowly chipping away at his lead, down to about 1.5 seconds from Cornelius to Frome. But from this point on, as you can see, we actually lost a huge chunk of time on that lap, and yeah, so from here on we just started losing connection with the leaders, and this is at this point where our tyres started to go off and those two just buggered off. So I really was just in full conservation mode, trying to salvage the gap behind to Artemis and Blue Flag. So a little bit later on in the lap, you know, we've managed to pull out a bit more of a gap to Artemis and Blue Flag. Again, Cornelius is climbing up to Frome, so I think I still have a little bit of hope, even with the tyres, that we maybe when they start battling. But coming into this corner here, I just get a bit of the curb and I just plain out understeer off into the grass, having to back out completely onto the corner and onto the runoff. And this is really where I knew the tyres were off, and you can see they're bright yellow on there, so really having to run wide, use the runoff quite effectively. And I'm really honestly pretty lucky I didn't get a puncture or anything, and of course this did mess up my tyres, gave them a bit dirty. So from here on the pace plummeted, the cars really hit the cliff. So from these last couple of laps, you've got about six laps left to go in this race. We've got 11 minutes on the timer, 6 seconds behind us. Can we hold on? It's going to be tricky. I think the podium really is out of reach at this point, unless one of those two make a mistake while battling, but it is going to be really tricky. Just need to nurse the car home with those front tyres. You can see they are gone, absolutely and utterly gone. It is going to be very, very tricky. We're just going to have to try our best to keep the consistency there, and hopefully we don't mess up too much from now on. Just have no front end grip. Turn, man. Jesus Christ. So now a few laps later on, after a few mistakes as you saw on camera there, it really wasn't really my day, and Artemis and Blue Flag both really have caught up. So I really do not want to give up this 4th place just so I can maintain a large point gap to Frome in the championship. So really just going to try my best to hold him off. It will be really difficult with the tyres, but after, you know, a lot of practice with my good mate Tret defending, I think I am pretty confident when it comes to holding them off. So even with the lack of grip, I think I should be alright. I really am just parking it, positioning my car really, really nicely, if I do say so myself. Yeah, just positioning the car really nicely, trying to make this Lexus as wide as possible. He does have really good straight line speed in that Bentley. It is one of the quickest cars at Silverstone, but even going into cops I'm having to defend. Just holding it in the middle of the track, moving back over just to sort of deter him from going around the outside, which really won't work. Anyway, as it is cops, but he does get a really good run coming into Magnus Beckett, as you can see, and he's pulls to the outside, but I just think this is just a stupid move to make, so I'm just going to straight line the corner as possible. He does use his brain and actually does back out of the manoeuvre there, but he is really pushing me through Magnus and Beckett. I am honestly so struggling. My heart is racing. I really do need to hold on to this 4th place, and if there is any contact whatsoever, I'm going to plummet down to about 8th place, as they are so close behind me now. Coming down the straight here into Stowe, you know, he's keep me pinned to the inside, but as he moves over, I move back over as well, just to open up the corner for myself so he doesn't get a cutback. Coming into the Vale chicane, he has got a pretty good run, so I do defend quite late until he moves out, so then I'm open up the corner as well. He does pull it to the outside, but doesn't quite have the grip to run it out there with me. He goes for a cutback through the Vale chicane. Does he get the run? No, not quite, but here I believe my throttle does mess up a little bit, and he does get a really good run in the toe, so he moves to the inside. I move with him to defend the corner. He doesn't quite find the gap, so I move back over with him to the outside, give him enough space on the outside. He does quite have a look at the outside, but again, it is Abbey and he's quite far back. You do need to have a really good run to make it work. So defending into Farm, I believe this is, on the inside, really not giving an inch, really parking on the apex. He doesn't really find a way through, and as you can see now, Blue Flag and Trit have both caught up, so it is a 4-car train for 4th place, and I'll park it in the middle, coming onto the straight here. And again, he isn't quite close enough in the toe. I do half-heartedly defend to the middle of the track. He follows me for the toe in the slipstream, and again, you can see them front tyres are really worse for wear at the moment on tyre temperatures. It was, I have to say, about a 34 degree track temperature, but yeah, just park on the apex, making sure he can't get a good enough run, then going right late on the apex to just give myself the best run, best opportunity coming into Cops. You've got 5 minutes left in this race. It is going to be really fine, and he is right on the back, 4 cars on the back. I am really hoping at this point in the race that that they do mess up and start battling. But honestly, I'm going to stay on board for the rest of these laps, because honestly they have been pushing me through, and honestly so close. There wasn't a Bowen moment. I was really pushing to keep this 4th place. So you can see Artemis
just so slow.
Really, and actually Willis in front of us, Cornelius, has spun chasing Frome, so Frome has secured P2, and Cornelius 5 seconds up the road. Obviously we are too busy battling, so we won't be able to catch him. You could say my defending wasn't the best here. Maybe I did make 2 moves, but I think it was all fair and good. I gave him the space on the outside if he did want to go for it, and there was space on the inside if he wanted to go for it as well. Defending into the Vale chicane in the middle there. He is going to send it really bold on the brakes around the outside into the Vale chicane, but I just cut him off there, use my line, and he really goes into the back of us, really pushing us around that second part of the chicane actually. Once again, deja vu, my throttle pedal does mess up again, gives him the run, so I go to the inside once again, following him there. He follows with me to try and find the space on the outside. He is going to go for it around the outside of Abby here once again, but he is off the track, so I take the normal racing line. He comes back onto the track, hits me, as you can hear. Once again, he cuts the track, gets another run on the outside, so at this point I am really fuming, so I do just sort of push him off the track there. It was my line, he wasn't 4 wheels alongside there, so I do, rightly so I say, push him off. Give him the space on the outside through here though. I think this is really just a move for desperation. It really was my line on the outside of Abby there. He was off the track. You can't just expect me to drive, give him the space, and just making sure with Trit in the party chat that I was right to do that, right? It was my line, and I would say so. He looks to the outside of Brooklyn's. We've got 2 more laps. He just looks to the outside of Luffield, and Trit has managed to get Blue Flag up the inside, obviously where I backed him up, and Blue Mosquito actually has joined us as well. So we've got a 4th 2/8 car train leading on to the last 2 laps of the race. Trit into 6th and Artemis in 5th, obviously me in 4th. So yeah, these last couple of laps really were difficult for me. I was honestly really struggling with the front tyre grip and having them behind me to defend as well. So I had to defend into maggots in case he did sort of stick his nose in. Don't really know why he'd do that. Wouldn't really be the smartest move to make. But yeah, coming through Chapel, he has got a really good run on me at the moment. I believe I will have to defend into Stowe, so I go to the inside. He's in the slipstream. He is in the slipstream. He is going to keep me pinned to the inside. I don't want to move back over too early just yet, so I move back over into the middle of the track just about now when I realise he won't be able to send it. But Trit with an audacious send up the inside, really just running him out wide, and Artemis just tries to keep it around the outside when he wasn't really having the run. So Trit and Artemis make a bit of contact. Trit has actually spun round, unfortunately, which is absolute calamity for him, as he was driving a really good race from last place. But now I've got Blue Flag and Blue Mosquito on the back of me, as Artemis has fallen off a little bit, about a second behind now. And as what would happen with Artemis, that's happened to Blue Flag. So I go dart to the inside, dart back to the outside for Blue Flag, as he's on my outside for Abby. I do sort of just cut him off a little bit, take the racing line. It's a nearly flat out corner in these cars, so he wasn't really going to have much of an opportunity to go up the inside. But now Blue Mosquito pressuring us in Blue Flag. He's actually up the inside of him through Farm and Abby. And Blue Flag up the inside again. Artemis has actually got back involved as well from these 3, so this has given me a lot of confidence and a lot of breathing room. That's 7/10 coming onto the final lap, so the leader is on the final lap now. It is going to be really close. I've got Blue Mosquito, Blue Flag and Artemis all pressurising me for the last 4 laps of this race, and yeah, honestly it was the most difficult situation for me to be in. I just really didn't want to let Frome get any more advantage in the championship than he needed to get. Obviously Blue Mosquito and Blue Flag and Artemis are also in 3rd place in the championship, so it was really a battle in the long term. But yeah, Blue Mosquito already closed up in 4/10 through Brooklands and Lovefield and alone. That's how my tyres were really off at this stage in the race. Coming on to the last lap, we've got Blue Mosquito followed by Blue Flag quite closely there. But yeah, So unfortunately the recording didn't really cut out very well. I had to keep stopping and starting, so if there was any jumps, sincere apologies for that. But yeah, 5/10 to me now, coming through Maggots, Blackets and Chapel. Coming onto the back straight. I dart to the inside to defend in case he does have a run, so I'm literally white lining it there on the inside, wait for him to move out, so I move out with him to open up the corner for myself. He's got the room on the outside, he does get alongside on the outside into so, but I just put the power down and make sure I'm ahead on the exit there. Coming into the Vale chicane, he is on the outside, so I try and make sure I brake as late as I can. He does look to the outside, but no, he goes for a cutback. He's going to go for a double cutback into the second part. He does almost get the nose bit in, but just can't quite get the power down there for himself. So, you know, he's trying to find a gap on the outside into Abbey. This is really helping me, so I squeeze him all the way to the outside onto the curb. Is it going to be deja vu for later, from earlier on in the race? No, it's not. He quite thinks sensibly, and he looks to the inside for Farm, but I don't give him an inch on that defend into the next corner. He goes to the outside. I really just he drives himself off the track. I just use all the track I can. Blue flag has now got him. He's up the inside again, almost hits me in the back, and it's literally a four-way fight. They are fighting each other. A bit of a mobile chicane at this point, really slow. But last couple of corners to negotiate now.
30 psi.
You know, so nearly 30 psi as you can hear there, and I've managed to hold him off. So and as you can see, blue mosquito has got hit from behind. I believe by that was blue flag. So you know, another bit of pressure alleviated off my shoulders there. And Artemis has actually got past both of them, benefited from both their mistakes. And as you can see there, at the final corner, my throttle decides to mess up, which does not give me the run I need coming onto the line. So Artemis is going to give us the run to the line. It's going to be side by side. It's going to be really close across the line. Am I going to keep on to that P4? Yes, I am. After a very hectic last couple of laps. That was really intense, and I hope you enjoyed, guys. P4, really good points. Make sure to like, subscribe if you enjoyed, and thank you.